and some. Yeah, we've got 3 of us.
That's the beginning.
Is that the beginning? How do I?
You're in the wrong one.
Are we back? I think we're back. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It just had an almighty crash. But I
think we might be
we're
back.
all good.
We're back.
We're back in the room, I think.
We're back.
So I've got my little helper,
Right.
I'm afraid.
Don't touch anything. Oh, you've got your helper.
I got my little helper, baby Jude. Come away.
How
minute
cute.
grumpy.
Yeah.
Yes, as you see,
We're
Adam
back.
and Debbie, the rules at Secret Sun Club are very flexible. You
Very
can have
flexible.
drinks, you can have babies.
We went through a show the other night. It was all good.
We've had pets.
I was really nervous. I had to ask permission to go and make a brew. I was like, am I allowed to go and make a cup of tea, or have I got to sit here?
Basically, if you're not back by the time we all come back together, it's fair game to take the mick out of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. We're trying to look for a needle and everything so Molly can cross stitch while I do this, but I haven't got
Well,
one.
I'll
I've
tell you
looked
what,
everywhere.
we'll let Debbie and Bella go and do their demonstrations, and
Good idea.
you can go and find a needle.
I'm going to go and find a needle. I'll be back.
Right, Debbie and Bella, it's over to you.
Okay, thank you. So we're very excited to be here, aren't we?
We are very excited. It's a new thing for us.
It's new, and we're very excited to be bringing more fabric designs. Just tell you a little bit about how we got into fabric. Well, a few years ago, I got asked if I would consider putting my designs onto fabric. Just before I continue, I can still hear Adam. Just so you know, I can.
What a skill.
Okay, I was having the voices in my head.
Yes,
yes. But anyway, Debbi Moore Designs has been in the craft and hobby industry for about just over 15 years, and we've been mainly papercraft. But over that time, we have actually we have drawn, and we have it still there to be used, but we have over 1 million designs sat doing nothing, because obviously in the paper world we keep bringing new things out every month. So we then got asked if we would consider doing fabric. So a year and a half ago, we started to dabble in fabric, and then last year we started to bring out fabric ranges. So I am totally new. I'm totally a novice. I was given a sewing machine 5 years ago and took it out for the first time last year. So I am very new to the sewing world. So I am learning as we go. So as a designer, it's great because I get to design. And this is where Bella comes in. My life is a bit crazy at the moment because I have moved to France and I'm opening up a chateau and working on DIY, chateau DIY. So between Bella and I, we are designing new fabric panels every month.
Yeah.
But Bella's heading it up.
Yes.
Okay, so that is why she has a sewing machine in front of her, because she gets to sew more than I do. At the moment, I'm knocking walls down more than I'm sewing. But it's so exciting because as a designer, now that we can put our design aspects onto fabric, we're like, oh, we could do this and we can do that. And it's all kind of crazy. And we're like little kids in a candy store because we want to do everything now. So on today's show, we have 2 of our favorite collections. We have our spring fairies because we're hoping that the snow won't last long and spring will come very soon. And then, of course, we have our sewing gnomes. So on the first demonstration, first group of products that we have, because everything is over at DebbiMooreDesigns.com, and there is a section called fabric, and they're all loaded up there, and you can actually see all of them. We haven't got all the panels in front of us, but we got loads of samples that we get to show you, and we can talk about how exciting we are that we can actually now put those beautiful artwork onto fabric, and it looks, the quality is still there, isn't it?
The quality is amazing.
It's still there.
Amazing.
So that's a little bit of the history, how we got to to do this new venture in the sewing world. So you're going to have to, bear with us because this is a brand new venture for us, and we are learning as we go. Bella's a bit ahead of me, but we are really excited to be here, and we're going to crack on and show you what we have to start off with. So the first one we're going to have a look at is the Christmas the spring fairies. And what we've done is, one of the things we've been asked a lot about is for squares.
Yes.
So we are going to look at one of our panels with these beautiful fairies on. Now, this is something that we have originally started as paper, and now it is fabric. And if I just lift it a bit higher, you'll be able to see the detail. It just amazed me the first time I saw how the printing quality on the cotton, just the detail just came through so beautifully. Because when we design in the paper world, we do it in layers. So you've got like 5 different layers there. So this is one of our 40 panel, or should you say 40 squares, and you have 20. So unfortunately, we need a bigger table.
Yes.
Like Sarah, we're running out of the room.
Yes.
So as you can see,
Hi,
you can
Debbie.
see how
The image is a little bit blurry, so you might just have to go a little bit slower when you hold them close to the camera. So it has
slower.
time to
Okay.
focus itself, because
So-
unfortunately it's not focusing itself terribly well for you at the minute.
How's that? Is that
That's
better?
a bit better. I'm going to see if I can improve anything on my end for you.
Oh, that's a shame.
Just keep going, and I will try and make it as good as I can.
Okay, so we might have a little bit of a camera issue, but hopefully some of the detail will stand out. So essentially, these panels are designed so you have actually got 40 squares, but there's 20 different designs. So we have actually put these beautiful patterns. They actually, and then we've got the squares with the fairies in with the seam allowance, because we're learning all about seam allowance, aren't we? So you've got those on there. So you're going to literally get 2 of each, and these are $14.99.
Yes.
Now, we've done them in 2 colorways for spring. We've done these beautiful lilacs and pinks, and everything just pops. We are falling in love with it, and we've come up with loads of ideas, and Bella's going to show you some in the middle in a minute. But then if you don't want pinks, we have also got some greens and yellows ready for spring. So essentially we have 2 colorways in those, and they're only $14.99 for the 20 squares, which you get 2 of each, which is 40 squares. And so you know, our website we've set up, we've got everything on there. So it's to show you that these are the main focus, because this is something that people have been asked for to use again and again. And then the other areas that we have in this collection, and you need to check it up on the website, is we have developed a range called Postcard Panel, and that is also $14.99. So the actual size of it is 140 by 59. So it's really good size. And you'll be able to see that by nipping over to the website. And that has 30 different fairies, hasn't it?
Yes.
So if you're wanting to do fairies, unfortunately, we haven't got that sample here. We seem to have got more gnomes, sewing gnomes,
for some reason. Yes. Yes.
So this is just, we're going to be using this in our demonstration. And just to let you know, the last item that we have is a tote bag.
Yes.
But please nip over to the website, because that's on there.
I think the other important thing
Debbie,
to say
I'm
that
just going to nip over to the website now for you and show them the panels. If you want to try and make some adjustments to that overhead camera, it is coming through quite blurry at the minute. So you have to just make a couple of tiny adjustments on that. I'll quickly whiz across the website and show everybody where the products are. Okay, so we are on the Debbi Moore Designs website. If you use the QR code that is on the screen when Debbie and Bella are demonstrating, this is straight to where it will take you, to the fabric section. And then on there you can see all of those fabulous products, as well as fairy panels, that are deco panels that she was just showing you. There's some of the gnome ones as well, which is the gnomes that you've got the most of that you're going to be demonstrating? Yes. Okay. So some of these are, you've got different options. You've got some larger panels there, which they'll be great for bags or cushions. And then, even the apron fronts, little kind of pinnies. And then you've got the squares as well, which consist of some main images plus some blender ones as well. So I can see Bella just intensely looking at the camera. Well, I think she's trying to adjust some things. So I'll tell you what, we'll go into a couple of these and have a look a bit further. So there's the Art Deco Rose Square panel. Let me see if I can zoom this in a bit further for you. How can I do this? How can I do this? Let me have a look. Because I've got to do it on the website, I believe. It won't let me. I'll go in a different one. That's fine. Let's go in the apron one. So you have ones on there that are down as kind of designated projects. Obviously, you could kind of play about with these and chop and change them a little bit. But it's, you know, it's designed to be a specific thing. You've got ones that are kind of more for applique. These ones work very much the same as if you were paper crafting, the decoupage style. So you've got bits to cut out and then stitch back on. Or you've got the ones that are the square panels, which is the ones we originally looked at. Let me have a look. There you go. Those big square panels, which are brilliant for so many things. I mean, they'll be near enough. Let me have a look. They're 70 by 74. So that means they'll be about 35 centimetre squares. So 35 centimetres, about 14 inches. So perfect for cushions or bags. And then if you do want to make them a bit bigger, say you're doing floor cushions or maybe seats for gardens, you can add a border or something to that to make it go that little bit further. Right. Bella looks slightly less. Do you need a... No. Okay, they need a minute. Just bear with me. Hang on a second. Adam, are you still there? Yes, Adam is still there. So what we might do is give Debbie and Bella a chance to sort the cameras out and just switch straight across to Adam, where we can chat about his smashing Creative Hideaways. Hello, Mr. Humphries.
I'm assuming I am here. You're breaking up, so I'm assuming you threw to me then, to be honest.
Yes, it's all to you because Bella's having a camera investigation. She's a little blurry. So she's going to fix it.
That is fine. Yes, so I am here for the sheer fact to tell you about an amazing retreat that the Secret Sewing Club is up to now. It's on the 12th of April. It's a day retreat at the Hawks Yard Estate, which is a privately owned estate, which is absolutely stunning. As I said, I was there a few days ago. I looked around the entire venue for other venues that we've got on here, and I thought this is going to be the one for day retreats. So Hayley contacted me a few months back and said the Secret Sewing Club would like to do a couple of retreats if it's possible, but they want grandeur. And that's where I came in and went, I can give you grandeur if you want the grandeur, as it were. So the companies that are with us are, obviously, it's Craft Yourself Silly with Hayley. We've then got the amazing White Gecko. They're involved as well. They'll be there for the day. We've got Daisy and Grace and Nicola, and then also Anthea and Quill. What? I'm coming through.
Full beans.
And mine.
You can't be any louder on mine. Oh, much louder now. Apparently we fixed it.
It's a connection issue.
Is it fiddling with a knob?
No, that's just my volume in my ears. Oh, I can't be doing this. Well, let's go with that. It's deafening in my ears, but we'll go with it anyway. So, as I said, it's a luxury retreat. It's for the day. It starts at 9:30 and rolls till 5:30. White Gecko are there with Sara. Sara, is it just yourself or is it everyone? Is it the whole gang? Okay. So Sarah's coming down. Hayley from Craft Yourself Silly is coming down as well. Daisy and Grayson there, and Nicola, and it's also Anthea and Quilting Antics. Now, all the details for this are on the creativehideaway.co.uk website. So it's creativehideaway.co.uk is what you were looking for on that one. As I said, it's 10 minutes from Lichfield, 20 minutes from Stafford. It's the estate of, it's sort of geographically in the middle of everywhere that you're looking at on this one. All you will need to bring on this, and then I'll go into prices obviously, is a sewing machine, your sewing threads, a rotary cutter, and obviously your pins, your scissors, your seam rippers, and your usual supplies that what you are looking at. Obviously, added extras would be an iron if you wanted to bring that. But we are doing our best and working with some big names to bring you other little things like your irons and things. There are big names in the pipeline. This is not the first retreat that we are putting on. Now, I kept it a secret for a very, very long time that no one really knew it was me behind all of this due to Creating Craft and all their legalizations, as it were. They wouldn't let me do it. But now that's not here. We've gone full steam ahead. Debbie Shaw is also doing a retreat, which sold out in minutes. And I feel this may go the same way as well. As I said, you'll find all the details on creativehideaway.co.uk. Payment wise, now we're working through PayPal is how we're going to do this. There is a one-off payment if you want to pay outright of £250. Now, I'm with you all the way. If you are thinking a bit steep at this time of the year, we can change that. So we can do monthly installments should you want to. If you want to leave a £50 deposit, drop me an email at bookings. So it's booking, BOOKING, at creativehideaway.co.uk. That will come through to myself. I will then drop you an invoice, and then we will pay your £50. And then we will talk about what money you can afford each month. So if it's only 20 quid a week, if it's £100, we will sort it all out for you. There are no stones unturned. You're not working with people that you don't know. It's myself behind Creative Hideaway, and then you've also got Hayley, you've got Sarah, there's Anthea to answer your questions as well, Nicola to answer all your questions that you are going to need and more. This is something that I think is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're going to start off with day retreats. If this, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, blow it. If this goes big and we get influx, there's a minimum number of spaces, by the way, as well. We've capped it at 60 spaces. And at the moment, the website only says 30, but then it will go to, there are 60 spaces. Once those 60 are gone for the Saturday, that is gone. If there is an influx of people that want to do this retreat with the 4 brands that are on board, as I said, we may, now this comes down to me and my negotiations with the venue. And as I said, I sat down with them the other day, and he's also a crafter as well. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal man who looks after Hawksyard Estate. He's a massive, massive crafter. He said we may be able to have the Sunday. Now, obviously, if we have the Sunday, people may change depending on availabilities and something like this, but it will be 4 names that you know from the Secret Sewing Club. That's what you're going to get. But the Saturday is what we're talking about at the moment. Saturday, the 11th of April, 12th of April. Is what we're looking at on this one. The 12th of April, 2025. You'll find all the information on creativehideaway.co.uk. £250 per person is what you are looking at for this one. What does that include? So that includes, though, for that £250, everything you are going to need. So that is all the kits that you're going to need. So every single thing you need to make a project. Now, the projects are secret at the moment. I use the word secret because not even I know what you are making at the moment either. I can see Sarah smiling because I'm like,
Adam,
yes.
just before you get into that, is it booking or bookings?
No S. BOOKING.
At Creative Hideaway, no S.
.co.uk. So creativehideaway.co.uk. Oh, fabulous. That you've got on this one. This is really weird because I can see everybody else and I can hear everybody else, but I don't know if people can just hear me or we can hear everyone. I'm unsure. So I'm just going to plow on. So it's creativehideaway.co.uk. Go on.
Just to clarify for you, Adam, the people at home can hear and see you. They can hear me, but they can't hear the other guys. I'm leaving Sarah on so she can give you information only.
Oh, that's what it is. No wonder I can hear Sarah. Oh no, it's fine. I'm used to it. I was just like, oh, I don't know if everyone can hear this. I think the details are now on your screen at the moment. Creativehideaway.co.uk, £250 or a £50 deposit, and then we will talk on how much you can pay per month, per week. It's entirely up to you, is what we're looking at on this one. But what does that money get you? So it will get you everything you need in your kit to create that project, whether it be hand sewing, whether it be a bag, whether it be a quilt. You know what I mean? Everything will be in that stash pack that you need to create your project. Now, it's going to be a quick turnaround. Not too quick, obviously. But you've got 4 retreats in one day. So you can dabble with the Sarahs and the White Gecko team and go, actually, I quite like this. I can get into this a little bit more. Or you can go down the Craft Yourself Silly and go, I've never really looked at the quad. I've never really bought into this. I don't know what I'm doing. Daisy and Grace and their hand sewing, and Nicola, what Nicola does is phenomenal. You can have a little dabble into that. Anthea and tweed. You can also dabble with the tweed as well. So this gives you an opportunity to have 4 companies in one day. And this is not just you're on your own. They're all there as well. Anthea's there. Hayley's there. Sarah will be there. Nicola will be there. I'm there as well. We're there. And the things that's different between this and other retreats maybe is I wanted palatial, I wanted luxury, I wanted somewhere where you could step away from the norm and just spend a day going, oh, actually, I've learned to do this or I've learned to do that. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, the classes are for everyone. And that's one other thing I stipulated as well. I wanted classes that went for everyone, so no one felt left out. There is also, I can't believe I managed this, unlimited tea and coffee available. Oh, yes, I know. Unlimited tea and coffee available. And a finger buffet lunch, whatever that includes. You've also got a finger buffet lunch as well, also within this price. If you want to stay over, there are no rooms at the hotel. They are fully booked. I did ask the other day, but there are travel lodges. There are other hotels nearby, which I can give you all the information for if you drop me a line. Booking at creativehideaway.co.uk. If you can't do it that way, go to the website. There is pages on there where you can contact me. As I say, it's just me behind this. I don't have well, I do have a team. The other person in this is my mom. So it's just me and mum, but I answer every email. It's me and my mom. If you look us up, it's me and my mother that are doing this. But I've wanted to do it for such a long time. And barriers, and everyone put up barriers for me. And I thought this is going to be the year that if we're going to do it, let's do it. And as I said, it's only going to get bigger. We were chatting to Debbie before we came onto this. We may have retreats in France coming up by the end of the year. Don't know yet. Still in negotiations. I don't think she knows about it either. But we may do that. We may go abroad. We may go over to France if that's what Debbie's looking into. As I say, we've got the Hawkshire Estate, which is stunning. Combe Abbey is on our books as well. We're working very closely with Combe Abbey. That's where Debbie's doing hers. So watch out for the website. There is loads on there that you can do and you can look into. If you have any questions, just drop me a line. And yeah, that's it really.
I will do is I'll very quickly show them the website.
Show them the website.
Did you like your strap that I added you with your?
I'm going to say yes. I can't see anything other than I can just say me, but it's lovely. Sarah can see.
Graphics. You've got a QR code, so they can go on the website. They've got your.
Sarah,
emails.
I can hear you. What did you have a question, Sarah, love?
Hang on, I'll have to switch to everybody for that.
Okay, so
right, we seem to have lost Debbie. But I'm sure
yes,
she's coming
we
back
can
at
do
some point.
65th birthday. I'll also throw in a bottle of something if you book on. Tell me it's your birthday. This is going to
Oh,
massively
Dean's asking for
backfire on
some
me.
Scottish retreats.
They're just going to tell all sorts.
Yeah, it's my anniversary. Is it? I will need to see proof on this. Scottish retreats I'm looking into venues. I'm in talks with a castle at the moment as we speak. So we are going to go north, and we're also going to go over to Ireland. I did see a comment saying it's too far for me to travel from Ireland. Once again, keep an eye on the website. Keep an eye on here. Drop me a line. The minute I know, I'll let you know. We are looking. It's just the logistics of. You all know me well enough by now. This is a new venture for me. I'm just a little presenter. I'm a mouthpiece on a stick, is what I was for 5 years, with people telling me what to do and where to go and where to stand. The only thing they couldn't tell me is what to say. But so this is a new venture for me, and it's a new venture for you. But hopefully, you're going to enjoy it. You know me well enough that I don't take fools lightly, and I want everything to be perfect. And the companies that are working with Hayley and working with myself, they also know me really well. That I used to do all my prep. I know what I want, and I know I want it to be beautiful, and I know I want it to be good as well. What about more southeast, like Norfolk? We're looking around here. I live in Norfolk. We're looking in Norfolk as well, so don't worry about that. At the moment, we've stuck to Birmingham and that area because it's central for everyone. The minute we start pulling into regions, i.e. the Northwest, like Norfolk and things like that, it starts segregating people. So we stuck to the Midlands because it's an hour, 2 hours from Norfolk, and people can get to it. It's not that far in the grand scheme of things.
Adam, Heather's asking, could you run through what they would need to bring again, please? Because she missed that bit.
So what you would need to bring at the moment, obviously, once you book on, I take your email address. I'll have all your details. I send you then monthly emails. So you're not out of the loop. I don't want people booking on now and going, well, it's in April and I've not heard anything from you. Every month you will get an email counting things down. So how many days we've got left, how excited we all are. At the moment, obviously, I need to go away again, and closer to the time, I will chat to the team. You need to bring a sewing machine, but there are sewing machines you can hire should you wish. Obviously, it comes at a price. But if you can got your own sewing machine, bring your own sewing machine along. You're going to need your threads, your bobbin threads, and your top threads as well. Colours, choice is yours. But I will let you know what projects you're going to be using closer to the time. Your rotary cutters, your rotary mats, and your general sewing kit. So your pins, your scissors, your seam rippers, and your usual supplies is what you bring. And then closer to the time, so maybe the beginning of March, I'll give you an in-depth list. You will get a full rundown. For example, the people that are coming to the March one with Debbie, they had their email last week to tell them what they're making. So they had a full rundown of what they're going to be creating. This is what you are going to get. You are never going to be out of the loop. You are always in the loop. And as I keep saying, it's me behind the emails. It's me behind the website. So if you need me, I answer emails at 2, 3, 4 in the morning that you've got. It doesn't bother me. If I need to get to you, I will get to you some way. So do not worry. Well, it is. Well, the only reason I do that and I answer the emails at silly o'clock in the mornings is it goes back to Debbie's retreat. Debbie's got people flying in from New York for the week. So New York are on a totally different time scale to what we're on. And obviously when we're in bed, New York are wide awake. So I don't want people feeling, doesn't matter where you are in the world, if you can get to us, I will get to you. If I have to leave you an email, if I have to leave you a voice note this week, we're also going to get a WhatsApp number. So we can WhatsApp and I can call you if I need to, or you can WhatsApp me and I can call you back. It's not a problem. There is no question too big. And if I don't know, I will go away. And that's what I don't want people thinking, that you're going to spend all this money and then we're just going to disappear. No, it's me. It's me behind it all that you're looking at on this one. And I'm going to hold your hand. And if there's a problem, I'll fess up. I'll tell you. I'll ring you personally and go, hi, it's Adam, former presenter, now unemployed. It's me. Hi. Can I tell you? And I will tell you. I'll ring you. It doesn't bother me.
Unemployed now. You're now an entrepreneur. You have your own business.
Yeah. Let's be careful who we tell. We got on this one. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're looking into. So hopefully this will all work and it will all take off, and we'll travel the world and we'll have cruises and we'll all go to France and have a very jolly time.
Excellent, excellent. Right, Debbie is back in the room. We had a little panic there because she vanished.
Hang on. Everyone's talking now. I can hear everyone. Sarah, what did you say, my love?
I haven't turned anybody off. But right, hang on, bear with.
Advantage.
Okay. Right, everybody's back together.
No, the answer to that question, Jane, is no. One of the things that I want across everyone, across all the retreats that we do, is whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or you're advanced, you will be able to learn something from this day. And as I said, wind it all back. The people that are doing this, yes, it's me putting it on, but don't see me as the presenter. I'm just a conference manager. I'm just going to put all this together because people are really, really busy with their own little lives, and now everything has got busier. So I'm just a helping hand. But you have to think of it for the likes, because Sarah's in my vision, Sara from White Gecko. She doesn't want you doing that little retreat with her for that morning and walking away and going, that was hard. Yeah. I won't be able to do that again. I won't be doing it. No one wants that, because what you're going to do is you don't want it either, because you don't want people sitting at the back going, I'm really struggling. I can't do this. And then you don't finish the project, and then the project goes to the bottom drawer because you've got 4 classes to get through. And once you've had that knock of confidence in the first class, it's going to knock you for the other 3. And that's not what we want. So the minute you think, actually, I can't do this, we'll stop. No question is a silly question. You're all in small groups. No group is bigger than, it depends on numbers, but if we work on 60 people, no group is bigger than 15 people. There'll only be 15 people in your group. You won't have to move anywhere once you are in a room. That will be your room for the day. And the moderators, the companies will move rooms. That's what's going to happen. So don't worry if you're in wheelchairs. If you're in things like you think, I can't get anywhere. How am I going to lug all this equipment? Once you're set up, you are set up. Every room will have tea and coffee, so don't worry about that. Every room will have me wandering about for the day. There's also me, and there'll be Ed as well, who used to be a director with me, that's going to do big sounds and visions. And we're going to try and get big screens, so no one has to get up and have a look. No one has to gather around a front table. Everyone will be able to sit where they are for the day and just watch on a TV monitor what the tutor is doing at the front. That is my goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just to sort of reiterate that is, any of you that used to watch me on Creative Craft or watch our lives during the week and stuff, we don't do complicated. White Gecko's ethos is everybody can sew. Everybody has the ability to do something creative with fabric. So believe you me, our project will not be difficult. It won't be. I don't do hard.
And that's the thing. And obviously all the projects as well have to go through me, because I get to see them before they go. So they won't be difficult. Everyone knows each other in this one. So it should be a good laugh. And now our Debbie is back. I can't really say, but we will be coming to France towards the end of the year. Rooms ready.
Himself, Debbie.
Rooms
no
ready.
Pressure. No pressure.
Rooms ready or not, we're on our way.
That is fine. Plenty of room. Trust me.
Me and Dick Whittington, it will come. Little knapsack.
Would you like to have another crack with some?
I would. Sorry, everybody.
Excellent.
For some reason, our top camera went blurry. So we're going to show fabrics on the front, and we are going to just crack on because that's what we do. So hopefully the front camera is not going to go blurry.
Storm and things as well, so I'm sure it will all be fine. So I will pass it over to you guys and let you crack on.
Brilliant. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for your patience. So,
Yeah.
this is our first time, and obviously technical issues happen,
Yes.
but we want you to enjoy these beautiful fabrics. So as I was trying to show you, let me see if it works. If I go with the front camera, Bella can check to see if it's not blurry.
Yeah.
Can you see how gorgeous these are? So hopefully they're coming out and you can see them beautifully. Let me know if they are blurry, but essentially this is one of half of our panels. So this is our Spring Fairies 40 squares, pink and purples. You get 20 squares twice. So you're going to get 40 squares in total. So I think they're coming out okay. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more by moving a bit further forward. So that is that colorway. Beautiful, isn't it? And obviously, if you don't know me, I love pink. So pink and purples is my favorite one. But if you would like more of a springy color, we have, this is part of it because I've already chopped it up, but you get the idea with the color palette. The colors just pop. And if you look at the detail that you see, with all the depth that you're going to get, this is from the Spring Fairies range. Now, when we first brought these out, we were so excited. We couldn't believe it was fabric because the faces, the shading, all the depth that you would get on paper transposed beautifully to fabric, didn't it?
It did. And the thing that I was going to say before the camera interrupted me was what many people might not realize is that these are your designs. So
yes.
These are not reproduced from anyone else's artwork.
No.
This is Debbi Moore designs, and the fairies are from Debbi Moore designs. They're not, people won't find these on other products,
No.
Well, they will on the crafting products, but
yes.
not on, they won't be able to get hold of these like in your shop or anything like that. These are Debbi Moore designs, and they're beautiful.
And what we've done with this collection is you have 4 different types. You do need to pop over to debbimoredesigns.com. There is a fabric section, and there is some other ones, but on today's show we have got the beautiful Spring Fairies, but also we have the sewing gnomes, which will come later on. We want to quickly do the demo because I know we've eaten into some of the time. But what we've got on here with the Spring Fairies range is we have the 40, and they're set up like this. We have learned originally when we did these panels, we had gaps around them, and Bella's going to explain why we don't do gaps anymore. And as we've become more experience as the time's gone on in designing fabric, we have learned from advice from different people that you need to add more of seam allowance, and we need to do more of a tighter design. And this is what we've done. All the designs that you see here are existent. I own over 1 million designs. I know it's a lot, but I just sat doing nothing. Because in the crafting world, we've moved on. We are bringing out 1,000 designs every month, and we've moved on. And this is what happens. And why we transposed it onto fabric, we picked certain designs that originally, when you have a look at this one, this is our blossom, originally was paper, but it looks so beautifully on the fabric side. So I'm going to hand over to Bella, and she's going to explain what we're doing with the demonstration. It's one of my favorite demos because it's very quick.
It is very quick. So yes, blink and you might miss it. So what I've got is I've cut each of these squares, which are 5 inches. I've cut them out, and then I've laid them out and decided which ones are going with which. And these I've pinned them together down one side. And so what Debbie was saying is that we have the seam allowance. So you can see just about, you've got this edge on which is the purple, and that is the seam allowance. And that means you can sew down that line and know that the image that you're going to get is wholly within that inner square. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pin these together down the side, and all I'm going to do is sew them. Now, unfortunately, I haven't quite got my side view, so you can't see my actual needle and my sewing machine, but I am reverse stitching, and I'm giving it a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, which I can see very easily because through the fabric you can see that seam allowance which we've given allowance for. So what I'm going to do is just sew down this seam, a little bit of a back stitch at the bottom. I'm using quite an old machine, but it's a very good substantial machine. So it's just a very straightforward basic machine. Now what I've got is I've now got these 2 squares together. And what I would say with these patterns and designs is that we've created them so that they're very suitable for beginners, but also suitable for people who a bit more experienced, but we're starting from the sort of beginner approach. So I have sewn these two together, and what I've done is I have got two that I have also sewn together. So I've got a picture square and a patterned piece. Excuse me, my voice is getting a frog in it. And I'm going to put these two together, and I'm going to match the seams. Now, I would normally press these, but again, because my studio has only just been set up, my iron and pressing mat are elsewhere. It's all learning, but it's over there. So what I've done is I've matched the seams up, and I've made sure that the folded edge on one side is opposite to the folded edge on the other side. And that's something that I learned very quickly when I was trying to sew squares together. So I'm just very quickly going to use my very handsome pin cushion, if you can see there. He's my gnome pin cushion. Unfortunately, I think I might have sticked some pins in the gnome's face, but I had to do that just to be able to get it done. So I'm just going to pin these together along the long edge, and then I shall sew them together. I do use pins. I don't do tacking, and I just try and keep it simple and just line the seams up. So bear with me just a second.
So while she's doing that, I'm going to show you that she's already done one side, everybody. Because we're making a bag, a little very
Debbi,
bag,
You need to move across towards Bella just a little bit. Perfect.
There you go, everybody. So, the joys of not having a top camera. Yeah. So as you can see there, she has joined 4 squares together, and she's just doing the other side with it. I mean, by having the 40 squares, you can create so much. You can do, obviously, one of the things that we've been doing and learning is obviously doing quilts, but we've been doing different elements on there. If I just put this down, this is coming up soon, but you could even use it to make dresses. Okay, the 40 squares. This is the 40 picture squares that are coming up in a second with the gnomes. But one of our creative design team members, Jenny, she's made dresses out of these panels, which we'll come to show you later. But by having the 40 squares, you can do cushions, you can do all kinds of things. You need to check out the website, because we do have a portrait, 30 fairy portrait, and people are using them for storybooks as well.
Yes, and particularly with the postcard panels, people were using them you can actually do cards or actually cover the book fronts, things like that. They're perfect for that kind of thing. And so what I've got here is I've got my 4 squares to go with the other 4 squares, and then I'm going to put them face to face and sew around the edges. Perhaps you might be able to pin those together for me.
I will.
We need to leave the opening at the top and then just pin around the 4 sides. I'm going to put my turning gap on the lining. So I've already pinned together my lining. And what I've done is I use my very own special pin code, which is not the bank pin code, but I use 2 pins together that are bright red, so that I remember that's where my turning gap is, because otherwise I forget, and I forget every single time. So that's just one thing that you sort of pick up as you're going along. So I'm just going to sew around the 3 sides, but I'm going to leave that turning gap on the lining, which means that I will be able to then turn it through relatively straightforwardly. And again, just leaving a 1/4 of an inch turning gap through. And then I'm just going to sew around the edge, because the lining is just going to go in very easily. And this was just some, oops, my needle needs threading. Just hold on a second. It's, this is such an old machine that it's relatively
You'll enjoy this when you want to do regular sewing demos. Itself exactly when you need it.
Yes, it's one of those things that
my best advice is to get the machines that have a needle threader.
Yes,
but mine does, but it's in France.
Yes. It's funny how quickly you learn to unpick as well when you're learning to sew. But I've got quite expert at unpicking.
That doesn't go away, by the way.
No, okay.
That's a constant.
Yes. So what I've done is when I've got to the corner is I've left the needle in at the corner and then just turned the fabric round, which if I had a side camera I would show you, but I'm just going to verbally explain that. And I'm just literally doing a quarter of an inch edge around this bag and leaving obviously the top open, because then when we put bags together they will sit nicely together. And my expert helper here is pinning my bag front together.
And normally I would say iron the pieces before
Yes,
you pin them to make sure they line up.
definitely. So all I'm doing is back stitching at the ends of the seams where you come to the edge. So I've got my bag and I've got my turning gap through here, which I have remembered, which is fantastic. And then I'm going to, so the other thing is you need your straps. So I have pre-done, thank goodness, one of the straps. And it was very simple. I cut a width of fabric, and then all I did was I pressed a scant quarter of an inch on each side, folded them together, and then pressed the seam so that I've got straps. Now they're not long straps because the bag is very small, but obviously you can make the straps whatever length you like. So I'm just going to sew down the outer edge of my strap and finish that bit off. I really just left a tiny bit just to show you how I did it, because obviously because I'm a beginner, I assume no knowledge. So forgive me if this is, you know, sort of very obvious to a lot of you. But we all have to begin somewhere. So I'm just going to finish that off and then just neaten it off. Although I don't have to, I do tend to put a top stitch down the other side just to make it nice and neat. And it just makes it look tidier actually when you've got the bag. So now what I need to do when this is done, and it'll be done in just a moment.
Lots of people saying thank you for persevering with the cameras. It's beautiful to hear now. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, the camera should be autofocus, so there's obviously a little issue going on somewhere. So what I need to do is I need to now, thank you very much, kind assistant.
I'll be your assistant today.
Yes. So Debbie has pinned the sides together, and all I need to do is I've got my bag straps and I'm going to tuck them into the inside of the bag, and I'm going to pin them in position. And I'm just going to leave a little quarter of an inch above the top of the bag and then pin that into position. Oh, thank you very much.
You go.
It's like being on a game show.
Some of your finest work today, Debbie.
I'm doing very well here.
So all I do with the bag strap is I've got it pinned on one side and I'm going to pin it on the other side, making sure that there's no twist as I go through. So taking it and pinning it on the other side. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And all I'm going to do to make sure that they're in the right place is judge it by eye, but also fold the bag in half. That might be a bit tricky to see, but fold the bag in half and line those up together. That's it, so that they're in the right position in terms of from the edge of the seam, if that makes sense. So pin that together. Yeah, there we are. That's going together there. And then I do the same on the other side. So I've got one handbag strap on one side, and then I'm going to pin it to the other side, and I'm going to line it up by lining it up with the two that are already there. So rather than me leaning over, I should just do this.
So I think
a couple of top tips. If you
Yes.
are a beginner, do it exactly the way that Bella's done it there, and rather than try and measure it, it's often better to fold it and line it up that way. And also make sure you put your handles on the inside of the bag, because it is very tempting to pin them to the outside of the bag.
Yes.
When you turn it inside out, your handles are inside your lining.
Yes, yes. It's one of those things that you learn by
I feel
trial
like
and
yes
error.
is a one from experience.
Yes, yes. And also being careful to make sure that your straps are well out of the way of any of those side seams, because that really can sort of, you can come a cropper actually if you accidentally sew your handle into your side seam. That's not a good look. It does make carrying the bag a little tricky. So I'm just pinning this strap into place, and then I'm going to sew around the edge. No, that's not what I'm going to do. I've got my handles in position, and now as long as I do right sides together, I'm going to turn the lining inside out. We want, when you're putting them together, you want the right sides together. So I'm going to pop that through there. And then I'm going to put this on the inside of the other bag so that when we sew them together, they will be the right way round. So I'm just doing my corners, but I'm not going to worry too much because when I turn it round, it's going to be the other way.
If you have got pins in there, just make sure they're in a position that you can get. This is it again for beginners, Bella. Make sure they're in a position where you can get them out once you've sewn that lining on. And
yes,
if you're confident, if you can get the back out, it's worth maybe just putting a little top stitch at the edge just to tack it on, and then take the little pins out before you stitch that round. Yes,
yes. So I've turned the bag out the right way, and Debbie's quite right. I need to sew around the edge first. That would be a very good idea. So I will just sew around this edge.
So while Bella is doing that, I thought I would do a show of a sneak look of a bag from the gnomes. So obviously this is a different bag because this is using the gnomes that are coming up. So there, if you like fairies, we have got gnomes now. There you go. So this is one of the images, or two of the images I say coming up. That was being made out of a pocket. And then from the squares, this Jenny actually did. She used the squares of the gnomes coming up to make like a little baby cushion and cover quilt, which we'll show in more detail when it's come out. But if you like gnomes, look at this one here. Nicola, one of our design teams, she created this bag, and what she did, we'll go in more detail on the panels, because obviously this is one of the bag panels. She's actually used the 40 squares of the gnomes to make like the edging, the fascia of the inside of the bag. You can just see them around the top. So the 40 squares can be used different ways. And also, how about making, you know, Adam's lost his needles. Maybe he needs to make a little pouch to put them in. So this was done with the 40 squares as well. So there's so many different ways you can use the 40 squares. And we do have a quilt somewhere. As I said, next time we'll be a little bit more organized with our samples when it comes to showing you. But we have got other things to show you, like what's coming up. I mentioned earlier was that Jenny used these are the picture squares of the gnomes, and she put them at the bottom of a lovely little dress that she used with some fabrics. So the 40 squares are very versatile, but there is some picture squares, postcard squares also available, and those ones are $14.99. As well as it's a big tote bag. There we go. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready. So I have sewn around the edge. I have removed the pins from the seams, and I've got my bag with the, I've actually got the right side on, the right side as it's called is on the inside of the bag. And then I'm going to put the right side of the lining together on the inside of the bag. And then I'm going to line up the top and then pin the top together so that we've got the bag. So I will just pin this together. So do carry on, my lovely assistant.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for that, why not a show? So Hayley mentioned earlier with the 40 squares when we had a look at my website that you can make a pinny. And this is what Nicola has done. Look at that, everybody. She's used one of the feature squares and used some fabric that she had to create a pinny. So there's different ways of using them. So there was the fabric there. Oh, there's the other one I was looking for. Look at that. So these were done by Jenny. And what she did is she made a cot little blanket with the sewing gnomes. So we have the sewing gnomes coming up and they're available in 2 different colorways. And we have them in this beautiful blue and lemon. But then we had the ones that I showed you where I was mentioning that Adam needs to make one of these, which is to put his needles in. And this is a little needle pouch that you can actually put them on. But these are made with the squares. So whether you're going for the fairies or whether you're going for the gnomes, the versatility is endless what you can create with it. And Bella's doing a little pouch of a bag with it. But the other one that I haven't got a sample here, I'm just going to show you these because these are the way we've designed them. And this is something that I've learned. As I said to you earlier, I am new to the fabric world. So when we originally designed these, we had gaps in. And then somebody said, well, why don't you join all of them together? So then that way you can do what we call faux quilting. So you can just go down the actual lines across, and you can even do diagonal depending on what is your pattern. So that's what we started to do. So this is why these are printed for you like this with all the designs in that way. And then as I go through it, you can see that you've got other ones that are coming up. There we go. These are the picture ones of the gnomes. So this is what I was saying. It is so long. You are getting so much material for the price. So if you want to check over onto Debbi Moore Designs into the fabric section, you'll be able to see that you've got all the different fabric panels and all the prices are on there. Over back to you.
Yes, so I'm now sewing across the top seam. And I've just pinned everything together. I've lined up my seams so that they interlock at the corners, or rather on each side of the bag. And I'm now just going around and sewing that top seam together at the top of the bag so that it all works together. And I think what I would say about the sewing gnomes is that it's great as a something that you can use to make for somebody who enjoys sewing, who wouldn't enjoy sewing, because that's all what it's all about. But actually what you can do then is actually you could even buy the fabric for somebody to use to sew things as well. So it's not just buying the fabric for yourself to use, but with sewing gnomes, it's perfect for somebody who enjoys sewing themselves. So you can do either. You can do something for yourself or for somebody else. So I'm just doing a quick 1/4 of an inch seam allowance around the top, and then when I finish getting round, which I'm almost back round to the beginning again, and I will just take it out there, and then I will pull it through the turning gap which I left in the lining. And the reason why I put the turning gap in the lining is really just so that it's easier to hide. You can put it on the front if you wish, but actually it's easier to do it the other way. So I'm turning the bag so that it's like this. So we've got all the right sides are now together. And now I'm going to put my hand through the turning gap and pull the bag all the way through the other side so that we will end up with the right sides on the outside. And then all we will do is pop the lining back in. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. I'm just going to take the pins out as I get
So when
them.
I first did this, I did it the wrong way around. I will own up from that. And do you know, when I very first started, I started with a cushion project, which is one of the demos that we want to do next. But my dear husband didn't even believe that I'd made the cushion.
He was like,
You said
no.
Bella did it. I'm like, no, I did the cushion. So that was my very first project. And then I did a bag. So it shows you I mean, I'm just learning. The beauty about it is having the patterns and the designs to get you started, or also continuing your fabric journey, really.
Yes. So now you can see I've got the bag. It's now ready, because now all I need to do is turn this inside, pop it on the inside, and obviously I would sew up that turning gap. Obviously I would press my seams. I'm just doing this for speed. And what I would also do as well is, once I've got this seam nicely flattened by rolling the top pieces together, is I would put a nice neat top stitch around the top to hold it all together. But that's a really quick project that you could do very easily. It would be a lovely gift for somebody, but also just something those squares, the nice thing about them, they're 5 inches, but the perfect thing about them is you're not having to measure. You're lining things up, and when you're cutting, you're just cutting along the lines. So it works really well.
And where we're trying to save the planet, giving gift bags, and you've used 8 squares. You're going to get 40 squares in those panels, and it's such a lovely project. And these were just some fabric that we had in your crafty stash.
Absolutely. So that's just a really nice, quick, easy project that you can make with your 5-inch squares.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know, are we moving to someone else and then coming back to us? Or do we go on to the next demo? I can, while I get ready for the next. Is there time for me to? Okay.
Oh, is that?
Is there time, Hayley, for me to do another demo?
Yeah, absolutely. What we'll do is we'll whiz back around again. We'll let Sarah go and do her second one, which is the 4-patch, which will kind of work with the things that you guys are doing as well.
Perfect.
And then me and Adam have been frantically setting up new things so we can scroll through the venue for you, and you can have a little look around. So yeah, I've always been too scared to set up new things while I'm already doing stuff, but I'm brave today and I'm on it.
Brilliant.
I think it's because I've got a new zoo pen, which I'll go and show you later. I have a whole selection of zoo pens. Which are pens you get when you go to the zoo.
So we got like sharks and zebras and elephants? No?
Well, this one's giraffes. And then I've got like a big tentacle, a flamingo. I've got an interactive kangaroo.
Oh no, not a kangaroo!
A crab.
They're my horror animal.
Oh no, you don't get on with kangaroos.
No.
Got a little one. Got a new one yesterday, which I shall reveal later.
Okay.
But anyway.
Lovely,
Sarah,
lovely.
I've put the kangaroo away. So,
I can look now.
do you know about Sarah's kangaroo phobia?
I learned it in Seamless Sunday.
Yeah. I admitted it live on national TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see them. They freak me out. They're men in costumes. They're not real. All you've got to do is Google.
She doesn't like the fact they're so hench. That's the problem.
Google hench kangaroo and look at some pictures, and you'll agree with me that they look like men in costumes, and they lie out like this, like and I think that's what they do to their prisoners in Australia. They sew them into kangaroo suits and put them to the outback.
Oh my word!
It's gross, isn't it? It freaks me out. I mean,
that's not
no
right.
No animal is gross, but it really freaks me out.
They're buff.
Yeah,
Yes, they are.
Humphries is down a rabbit hole, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Sarah.
Went off on a tangent.
Always. That's how we roll here.
Right, should I do another little quick demo for you? We'll do some more 4 patches.
If you want to go for that
more
4-patch
disappearing,
one.
yeah? Cool, okie doke. Right, so I've actually got a 4-patch put together, but what I'm going to do is show you how to put a 4-patch together. And there's a little tip for getting your seam really good on the back. So we're going to go back over here. I'm still using this same Lydia's lace. This one is on offer. It's got 20% off, as well as these two as well. So this one is actually brand new. This has only just come in. This is Rosemary Cottage. And it's really, really pretty. It's a Camille Roschelli. I can never quite say her name, from Bonnie and Camille fame. And it's beautiful. I mean, there's just some gorgeous prints in there. Really, really pretty prints. That one's brand new. This one's been in for a couple of months, but it's a really lovely, bright, modern rainbow of a designs in there. It's coriander colours. It's a Corey Yoda design one. And it's just all like their famous sort of like ginghams and everything in there. But the one I'm using today is Lydia's lace. But all of those do have 20% off if anybody fancies one. So I'm just going to pick another 4. And we're going to do a really quick little 4 patch. Since we've been talking, Debbie's and Bella's been talking about 4 patches. But there's a little trick that somebody taught me ages and ages ago. Hang on, I need one more colour. I need something else with a bit of colour. There we go. A red one. Okay, so we're going to put these 4 together. There's a little trick that you can do on the back to get the seam really, really nice and neat in the center. So we're going to start by putting this one on top of this one. And a lot of you, if you watch my Facebook lives during the week, or Sarah Jane's, will already know this trick, but some of you don't. So I will show you again. Over to the machine. We're just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both of them. So down we go. For those of you who don't follow us on our normal socials, White Gecko Craft Lounge, we have Facebook, Insta and YouTube. But on Facebook, Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays, we go live and do a completely free class. It's a completely free project each time. So Tuesdays is always block of the week. So we do a different block every Tuesday. That's at 1 o'clock. Wednesday, no, I'm not going to bother to iron them. Actually, no, I will. I'll be a good girl. I'll iron them. Wednesdays is 7 o'clock, and that tends to be a slightly more involved project because we've got a bit more time in the evening. So I'm just finger pressing that and pressing it. And then we're going to do the same on this one. I'm going to finger press that one as well and press it. And then Thursday, it's back at 1 o'clock. And again, it will be another project. Sometimes it's crochet, sometimes it's sewing, sometimes it's quilting. It could be all sorts on that one. So, but those are pretty much every week unless we're away at a show, which we are actually very soon. In not next week, week after, we're up in Newark. Again, if you go to Grosvenor shows on Google it, they're the guys who run like the Malvern show and all that lot. We will be up at Newark. I think it's just a Friday, Saturday show, 17th, 18th of January. It's a really lovely show. They have like a quilt competition, so there's exhibitions and all, and then loads and loads of lovely traders. So I'm going to do the close-up because hopefully you guys can see this. Before I iron this out, I'm going to try and get as close as I can for you. So hopefully you can see it. There's a couple of little stitches just here in the seam. If you just use a pin or something sharp and just pull out those 2 little stitches, so that one there, and then flip it and do it the same the other side. So that one there, and there's that one there. You just want to do the sort of 2 or 3 stitches there in the seam allowance so that when you open this up, one seam will go one way. You'll naturally get, can you see this little 4 patch just here? Okay, right in the center. This one goes one way, this seam, and iron it like that. There we go. And that seam goes that way. And what that does, basically you've spun that seam now. So all the seams are lying in a clockwise direction just by taking out those 2 little stitches. It won't affect, you're not going to get a hole or anything because it's in the seam allowance, but it makes it lie incredibly flat. And you've got, and if I hold that up for you, a perfect point there as well. It helps everything lie, nothing gets sort of shoved out of the way. So it makes everything lie really nice and neat. So, if you've bought one of those beautiful gnome panels or fairy panels, when you're putting them together, if you think about putting them together as 4 patches and then just doing that little one on each interconnecting seam, it makes everything lie much, much nicer, which also is when you're quilting, if you are going to quilt it, means you've got less bulk here which means your quilting will work nicely as well. So what I thought I'd do on this one is show you the traditional way. So we did the diagonal, wherever it's gone, here it is, the diagonal disappearing 9 patch. You can absolutely do the same sort of thing. You could do diagonal with this and turn it and mess it around. But traditionally a 4 patch, we're going to go, let's go 2 inches either side this time. You can choose. You can do it as big or small as you want. Hang on, getting all bits out of the way. Let's go 2 inches either. 2? That might be a bit big. No, let's go 1 inch either side. I'm going to stick with the inch, I think. So what I've got my inch line all the way down, making sure one of my horizontals are along this horizontal line as well. So everything is nice and straight and nothing's going to go skew with. I'm going to go up that side. And again, try, if you've got a turning mat, use one of those at this point, because the less you move your fabric, the more accurate your cutting will be. So I'm actually going to move myself rather than move the fabric. You know, if you can get round your table that you're cutting on, work round rather than move this. And then we're going to come to here like that. We're going to do the horizontal exactly the same. So we're going to go 1 inch that way. Like that. And the same this side here, 1 inch that way. And again, I'm going to move myself rather than the fabric. Okay. And then when we pull these out, you've got all these lovely pieces again. And you can start playing around with them just like we did last time. So let me just move it up a little bit. Sorry, I can see that I'm not quite in shot there. There we go, like that. So you can literally just do this if you wanted to. You know, if you don't want to mess around too much, just swap your corners and then maybe turn that 180 degrees as well. So you've got that there now. So it looks a little bit like sort of a square and a square type thing, because you've got the same colours bordering and then the opposite that side. Let's pop it back. And this is kind of the thing I love about quilting, is you can make it your own. You can play around and make this completely your own. So we could swap these ones. So I'm going to swap and turn on each of those. Swap and turn, swap and turn. Okay, and we can leave the center together like that. Okay, so you've got, again, something that looks like you've spent ages and ages cutting out all these tiny little pieces, and yet it's just started as a 4 patch and messed about. Once you've done that, you can then play around with other things. So we're going to quickly sew this together, and then we could cut into it and play out, you know, move stuff again. And you can, you know, obviously every cut that you make, your block will end up smaller because you've got different seam allowances each time. Okay, but let's try this way. So we're going to go that one to that one and then add that one on. I'm going to add that one to that one. And let me just, there we go, like that. And then I add that one on. And I'm going to do all this over on the machine, that one to that one, rather than flip the cameras. And away we go. So this is the bottom one. Again, if you are new and you're a bit worried about this, take your time, pin it. But if you're doing, you know, maybe you're doing charity quilts, maybe, you know, you're working to make like project liners quilts or quilts for care leavers. Something like this doesn't have to be made out of a charm pack. It doesn't have to be made out of, you know, precious fabric as such, you know, something you don't want to cut into. Because it's kind of got a scrappy look to it once the block's finished, cut any size square out of all your scraps. Go through your scrap buckets and, you know, think, right, okay, I can get, you know, 20 4-inch squares out of that and sew those together and make some blocks. It doesn't have to be brand new fabric, you know, or, you know, cut up shirts and stuff if you're doing it for charity. I like the fact that with something like this, it looks like you've done a lot of work. It looks like you've spent hours and hours doing it, but it's a really, really simple method. So in the comments, ladies, for those gents who are watching, let me know who has done other variations. What other variations of disappearing have you done? I think I think we've probably got a tutorial on quite a lot of them. We've done disappearing hourglass. We've done disappearing quarter square triangles. We've got a pattern for a disappearing half square triangle. You know, it doesn't, there's so many variations. Is there one that you guys have done? And if so, pop a picture on for us or just comment. Let me see. And I'll have a little chat. Right. Okay. Let's go back over here a second. What's that, Ed? Thank you. You've never realised how to do a disappearing block, both straight and diagonal. Fabulous. Oh, you're very welcome, Ed. No problem at all. Lovely. Right. So I'm just going to do that way. Do that way. And this disappearing 4 patch will look very different to how a disappearing 9 patch looks as well. You know, there's, depending on how many squares you put in your original piece, really will depend on what it looks like. And I'm hoping I've kept this all in the right order now. So I've ironed those ones out. So I'm going to iron this one in. So I'm going to go that way so that I can nest my center seams. I'm going to go that way like that. Here we go. Nope, that's not right. It must be that way. Yes, because I had nothing touching, no colors touching the same. So then what I can do is add that one onto there. And again, we're going to nest that seam there. And I've just ironed that the wrong way. So 2 seconds. Just iron that back that way. There we go. That one's going to go on like that. There we go. Make sure that they're all going opposite directions. And it is one of the few times I'll pin. Patricia, you've done disappearing blocks. Ah, fabulous. They're really easy, aren't they, Patricia? It's one of those things that you can just, you know, you don't have to think too much, which is quite nice sometimes. You can turn your brain off. There we go. I have actually pinned all of those intersections to make sure it stays nice. And we're going to stitch along there. And then I can pop the bottom one on. Sometimes sewing can be quite mindful. I find it is anyway. You can kind of switch your brain off. Don't get me wrong. I love a challenging pattern. I love something I can get my teeth into and think, oh, you know, how's this going to go together? But sometimes we need a quick present, or we need something that we can just chill with and enjoy the sewing process rather than thinking too much. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I just don't like to think too much. Here we go. So that's that side done. Okay, 2 seconds. Bear with me just while I press. I know that's a very dull screen for you to watch. Oh no, I put it on the wrong side. Oh, phooey, hang on. There we go. There you go. So there's the first mess up. So I've put it on the wrong side. On that side. Can you see they're matching again? Which they shouldn't be. I'll unpick it and put it on the right side. So now I've got to find an unpick.
What then? Do you want us to
unpicker
pop back together and think while Bella and have I turned my mic on? I have. Excellent, good work. And while Bella and Debbie set up for their next one, Adam's going to quickly whiz us back round the little tour. We're actually going to have a tour.
Ooh. I
know. Let me just turn all your mics back on because I muted everybody so they weren't just in your ear hole. Nobody wants people in their ear holes.
No.
No, I don't.
Well, you do try. No, you do try. Remember, there is a little delay on this. Well, I was saying no to you don't want people in your ear holes. That's what I was saying no to.
Okay. No to people in the ear. Yes to people trying. Excellent. Covered. And Debbie and Bella, are you good to get set up for your next one after Adam?
Yeah, we're set up.
Okay,
Yeah.
I shall switch up
Oh, we've just had a first booking, by the way, on the retreat.
Have we?
Oh, we've got more than one.
Oh, Claire's just said she's just booked on.
I've been chatting to Adam in the mid.
Oh yeah, people have been booking on. I can see names coming in.
Right,
yes.
Let me switch it over to Adam so we can go and have a look at this venue then.
Now this is the last little section from me because I have a little girl who's starving. So I'm going to dash off after this bit and go and cook her tea because there's only me and her. This is the last bit from me. I've loved this though. I've loved all this. I've learned quite a bit. Yeah, this is better than the actual telly. You actually learn stuff here. Well, it's true though, isn't it? Because normally you just have people chipping in about their personal life. Anyway. What are we talking about that we've got on here? So, as you all know, I'm no sewer. I don't sew. I'm not here for the sewing section. What I'm here for, though, is to help you sew. Is to give you a lifeline. Is to give you a little snippet of smaller companies. So you can go out and go, well, I've tried them, I've tried them, I've tried them, and I've also tried them as well. In the grand scheme of things, what we'd like to do is do one of these a month, with you to try different companies around that month. So there'll be 4, possibly 3 a month, companies a month doing one retreat. Where do the retreats come from and why am I talking about them? Well, I started this back in March last year, and I was put up barriers after barrier after barrier. People put up in front of me saying I wasn't allowed to do it. It's a conflict, this, that, and the other. So when October came last year, I bit the bullet and I went for it. And this is how Creative Hideaway was born. Creative Hideaway is a retreat-based company with myself. It's myself that's behind it all. That I help companies that haven't got the time or don't know how to put on a retreat. The whole ethos behind the Creative Hideaway is I wanted to give something back to everyone. I wanted to make it luxurious. I wanted to go luxury, for the sheer fact that when you go onto a retreat, I want you to get immersed somewhere that you've never been before. Stately homes, castles, things like that, chateaus, things like that you want to lose yourself in. You want to lose yourself in, and do you know what I mean when I say that? So this is where Creative Hideaway came. So then I started with Debbi Moore. Debbi Moore has got all her booked in for March and sold out within record time, is what it sold out in, with people flying from around the world. And that's why we're based in Birmingham. I'm not based in Birmingham. I'm up in Norfolk, but we wanted somewhere central. For our first few retreats, I wanted somewhere easy to get to for everyone. So Birmingham is in the centre, obviously, the West Midlands, and that's where we're heading for this retreat. We're heading up to Staffordshire. Is where we're going, to a place called Hawksyard Estate. It's a privately run stately home. I was up there a couple of days ago having the guided tour, and it was stunning. It really, really was. Now, let's talk about the estate first, and then we'll get on to the retreat. As you can see from the pictures that you are looking at the moment, it is a beautiful wedding retreat that you've got in there that is accessible for everyone. Everyone can get to this venue. Now, if you're thinking, well, I don't think I can be able to lug everything up, it's the first question I asked. I went through the wrong door when I drove my car in. I was like, I hope this is not it. How on earth are we going to get to here? Potholes everywhere, this, that, and the other. I thought, I can't do this. And then I backed up, turned around and went somewhere, and then went to the proper entrance, as it were. And I was like, I can't. I said my first question when I met him, I was like, Simon, I was like, how are people meant to get here? And don't worry, we've got golf buggies. We will cart you wherever your car is. We will cart you. You carry nothing. And that's one reason I'll be there as well. I'm not there as Adam from the TV. I'll be in a black polo shirt and a pair of jeans, lugging your stuff for you. I don't want you to pick up anything. I don't want you to carry anything. No, I'm not going to carry all your bags and everything. Let me just stress that now. But the big things, your sewing machines, I will carry for you. I don't mind. Myself and my team, and I say me and my team, there's me and one other bloke who used to be a director who's going to do all the technical side of it all for me. He is, and that's what me and Ed are going to do. Me and Ed will cart everything for you. And if Ed can't be there, I'll rope somebody else in. Probably Molly will be there. But we'll all be there to help you, and that's what we want. Now, the Hawksyard Estate that we've got on this one is accessible for everyone. We'll be using the main house that you can see in the photos, and possibly the orangery for lunch. Now, who's with us on the 12th of April of this year? So the 12th of April, so the 12th of the 4th, we'll be taking over the entire estate for the day from 9:30 till 5:30. There will be all the brands that you know and love. So you've got your brands like your Craft Yourself Silly. You've got your White Gecko. Daisy and Grace will be there, and also Quilting Antics with Anthea. So all the brands, I say all the brands, the 4 brands will be there, and you will take the whole day going around from class to class to class. So you will fit in 4 classes in a single day, which this gives you the enability to try Funky Fossil, White Gecko, to try Craft Yourself Silly, to try Daisy and Grace, to try the stuff from Quilting Antics. And you don't move. Once you're in your situ, once I put you in your room, and they are beautiful rooms, they really, really are, that's where you'll stay for the day. So you haven't got to move anything. You can make yourself at home in your own stately home. And once you've done that, there'll be tea and coffee provided. There's lunch provided as well. And the tutors will move to each room. Every single class that you go into will be provided for you. So you only need to bring the smallest bit of equipment, and everything else is gifted. So anything that you make, whether it be a bag, whether it may be a quilt, whether it be a little hand stitchery, threads, everything will be there for you to use. The only thing that you will need to bring in to this would be a sewing machine, but they are a few, and I use a few available for hire. Obviously, sewing threads is what you're going to need as well. There'll be a rotary cutter. You're going to need to bring your rotary cutters and your scissors that you've got in here. You'll also need your general sewing kits as well, your pins, your scissors, your seam rippers, and your usual stuff that you've got. All of this is all that you need to bring. Everything else will be provided for you that you've got in there. Obviously, if you want irons and things like that, I'm trying to sort those out at the moment that you've got. Go on, Sarah.
The guys at home can't hear Sarah. They can only hear you and me.
Oh, you can only hear me. I couldn't hear Sarah either, to be perfectly honest. Then it all broke up. Are you possible to bring by stash? Did you say? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a question from Jane Brown. Will they bring
Yes.
some of their stash that they can sell on the web pages?
Yes, Jane. Everything that you are creating and everything that you know that brand for will have their own brand shop that you'll be able to meander around at any time, normally on a break or at lunch, at the start or at the end. Each person will have their own stall just as you walk in to the foyer. So everything will be there. And obviously the girls and guys will be there as well. So if you've got any questions, if they haven't got it on stock, but you think, well, you normally do that, they're there. These are the people behind the companies. These are the people that you all know and love, that you watch on the social medias that you've got on this one. Now, there are a few of you, and thank you so much, have already put your place in. Claire, I know, has put her place in, and a few others have also got their names down. Now, if you're thinking, Adam, this is all well and good, but I haven't got that sort of money at the moment. And don't get me wrong, I used to say it on the TV, I'm with you, who has these days got this sort of money just to go, you know what? Here it all is. Here it is. Here's my money. I'm in. Okay, let's roll it back. Now, we're not talking about big companies here. We're not talking about anybody else. It's me and you. So I will sort it out for you. Drop me a line. Drop me an email. booking@creativehideaway.co.uk. booking@creativehideaway.co.uk will get your email to me. And if I don't respond within 2 days, drop me another line, drop me a Facebook message, Instagram, something like saying, Adam, I have messaged you. Have you got it? I'll go and check. I check it daily. I'm in my office daily, checking all your emails. If you're thinking, Adam, I can't do that, I would love to come. But, and I shouldn't be saying this either because it goes against the website, but if you're thinking, all I can do today to save my place, I've only got 20 quid. I've only got 30 quid, Adam, today, and I'll pay the rest in a couple of months' time. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can make that happen. I can make it happen. If you want to book your space on, let me know, and we will talk directly, and we will book you on. So I know that the website says £250 for a complete or £50 deposit. If you've not got that £50 deposit and you are really thinking, I'd love to have a little go, let me know, and we can sort all that out for you as well. So if you've only got £30, let's just do a third. Let's get you booked on so we know you've got that space, and then we haven't got to worry anymore. Sarah's got another question.
I've got 2 more questions for you.
Oh, Hayley's got questions.
Machines need to be pat tested.
Your sewing machines do need to be pat tested. If they're not pat tested, do not worry. I've got someone on hand that will pat test them for you free of charge. It's all on me. I will pat test them for you when we get to the venue. So when we get to the venue, your machine will be pat tested by myself. I'm taking that cost on board. So I will pay for them to be pat tested once they get to the venue.
I've got Patricia joining us because it's her 65th birthday in February, and that is now her birthday present.
Lovely, Patricia. I have to say, I've seen a few come through at the moment, but someone's going to have to make a note of all these for birthdays.
I've got Pam Butcher that says, "Well done, Adam. As a retired conference organizer, I applaud you going for it. This sounds fabulous."
It is, mate, and it's not easy work, but you know what? I don't mind because I quite enjoy it. I do quite enjoy sitting here now in the office. Now I've all been done out. I say done out. I've just moved everything around into painting. But I do enjoy just sitting doing it and finding new ventures and finding new ventures and going looking around the beautiful homes that we're going to have some fun in 2025. We really, really are. And if these work, we may stretch them to a weekend. Things like that. Maybe it's one or two companies, but we do them over a weekend. There's so many possibilities. And the one thing I want to say as well is the cost. And I said it earlier, we are trying our best to keep the costs really low as we can keep them. So you still get an amazing retreat. You still get everything you need, but you're not paying through the nose. You're not paying 8, 9, nearly $1,000 to do all that, especially when you're in the UK. So because we're over here, we're trying to keep the prices really, really low. Maybe when we fly to France on our own private jet on Debbi Moore Airways, we will have to go up slightly more. I've not changed, Deb, don't worry, that you've got on this one. But at the moment, we're keeping it in the UK. We're going to keep it in the Midlands for the first two, and then we're going to expand, and we're going to go, because there's been Kent, people have asked for, up north, people have asked for, over in Ireland, they've asked for as well. Someone asked for a French chateau. We were on it. So leave it with me. We are all over this. As I said, creativehideaway.co.uk. All the information's there. Go on, Hayley.
I've got Leslie asking how many places are there. Sarah's put an answer up saying there's 60, but initially I believe there's 30, and then we've got the option to extend. Is that correct?
There's 30 to start with, and then, well, there is 60. There's 60 spaces. There's 30 on the website at the moment, but there are 60 spaces all in all. So if you want to bring a group of people, so say there's 20 of you, and you run a little sewing group, and there's 20 of you, we can put you all in the same room at the same time. So you'll all be together. So if don't think, I don't want to do that because I don't know. If there's a group of you, let me know in the booking. All book individually, then send me an email saying, Adam, all of us are in one big group. We'll sort it. We will put you in one room, so you're all together, so you can treat it like a day retreat for your own personal day retreat for you and your crafty friends. There is no stone that we can't turn over on this. Anything is possible, and that's always my mantra. If I can make it happen, I will make it happen. Patricia, drop me an email, and we'll get you a bottle of something. Is it Patricia Handshaker? Do we know? Yes, it is. It's at her birthday. Okay, I've got it here. I will make a note of it now in my diary because I know it's your birthday. We'll get you something as well. There is also, if I say it now, I've got to do it. There will also be limited. No. There is also a limited edition. Bigger bonus than free tea and coffee and a finger buffet? Of course there is. There'll be a limited edition for every retreat you go on. There'll be a limited edition pin badge that you can only get. Once again, these are coming from me. You can only get on that retreat. And once they've gone, there's gone. I think there's 5. There's 5. Mol's telling me there's 5. There is 5. My little PR agent next to me. There are 5 badges to collect that you've got. Okay, so there are 5 badges to collect, but that's only on the retreat. So if you miss them, you won't get all 5. And there's unlimited tea and coffee and a finger buffet.
This is new information.
I know. I only thought it today because I ordered Debbie Shaw's. So I'm going to do it across the board for everyone. She's like she's my tester, to be perfectly honest. Of all the testers I could have, Debbie Shaw, I'm going to test her. It don't work for Deb. I ain't doing it anymore. So
she'll be all right. She'll be good.
It'll be fine. She don't know about it either yet. But hey ho, it's all gone. Any more questions before I hand over to the wonderful Debbie?
Let me have a look. I've got Elaine asking for Scotland. Yvonne asking for Kent/Surrey.
Right, this is beautiful.
Sara
I'm loving.
For Northern Ireland.
I'm loving the people asking for locations. Come on, one and see if you enjoy it first, before I start venturing to Scotland and Northern Ireland, and you go, nah, not for me.
Accommodation.
Accommodation. If you book on, there are travel lodges and what's the other one? Travel lodge and Premier Inn nearby. There is a Premier Inn and a travel lodge nearby, not that far. You're not in the middle of nowhere either in this one. You're just in Staffordshire, so you're not that far from nowhere. But yeah, there are Premier Inns and travel lodges. If you book on, I'll send all that information out to you. And if you're flying in from Ireland or wherever, I'll show you where all the nearest airports are and things like that. All the information is given to you. I do all the hard work, so you don't have to. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, any question, drop me a line. Booking at creativehideaway.co.uk. I'll answer anything and everything.
I've got one last one, and then you can go and make some food for your hungry PR agent.
Yeah, she is sitting there now.
Any more at Hawks Yard?
Yes, there will be. This is, if this one works, which I think it will, and I know it will, this will be our day retreat venue. So, because it's a stunning venue, and we can go big and we can go small, and I can take over the lot. And they've got loads of different rooms. So, yes, this will be our day retreat venue. And if we do overnights, we may look at Coombe Abbey and things like that. But this will be our day retreat. Sarah, remind me in a minute, and I'll send you the photos over that I took, so you can see the venue. I just remembered. Any more for any more?
Let me go and grab everybody else then. No, are we happy to let Adam go? Has he been a good boy?
Yeah, thank you all. I've got to go and cook dinner.
Yeah.
I've got to go and cook a tea. I can't hear Sarah now.
Oh, they can't hear you. There you go.
Give her one job. Give her one job to unmute.
She's got
Honestly, you want to see the state of it in here?
I know the state of it. You
There's
text me.
3 computers. There's
Wow.
phones.
Right, I'm going to love you and leave you, ladies. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Okay.
Sarah, I'll see you soon. Debbie, it's been lovely seeing you again. It's been wild.
Yes, definitely.
Next time I see you, we'll be in France.
Talk to me about the chateau.
Debbie, when you're free as well, I'll try and find you on the socials. You'll have to come on All Round Mine, my new little chat show on a Thursday evening, and we can talk all things chateau and talk all things sewing.
Definitely.
Oh yes, Sarah, you're on it as well. I know you're on it. I've got to just drop you the link later. You're on in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I know. Ryan, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go make steak and chips for everyone.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just going to wave like a game show.
Right, well, I will switch to. Yeah, well, give me a chance. I'll just switch to Debbie, and then she can finish. She can do her next demo. All right, Debbie, there you go. I'll stop him waving. Don't worry.
Right, everybody. He's still waving. Okay.
10 hours later, still be waving.
Adam, you can go.
Right, everybody.
Debbie, you
Okay,
go for
so
it.
we
I'll
still
sort him out.
have issues with the top camera, so you're just going to have to bear with us. We are going to be doing a demo. When I say we, the royal we, Bella's going to do a demo, and I'm going to explain the next collection. Now, the next collection, we kind of had a sneak look earlier. It is the sewing gnomes, and they are adorable. And we actually have 6 products available in this collection, and we're going to start looking at some of them, and then we're going to go and do the demo. Now, as I said to you earlier, this is very new to us. We're new about a year and a half now. About a year and a half into the fabric world. Obviously, it's now been 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
But we're very excited to be here. And at Debbi Moore Designs, it's all about creativity and design. And after 15 years, you can imagine we have a whole array of themes and ranges that we have designed over the years, over 1 million designs. And that's how we got into the fabric range. One of the things people were asking us is for gnomes, sewing gnomes. So we brought out a range, our sewing gnome collection, and then we got so many requests, could we turn it into fabric? And so we have. So this is one of the fabric range. It's available. You can nip over to the website, which is debbimoredesigns.com. In the fabric section, you'll see there's 2 pages. Go to the bottom, you'll see all the gnomes. The first one I want to show you is the feature panels. Now, Jenny decided that as well as doing fabric, as in doing fabric pieces, she said, why not turn that into a lovely features, because you're going to get 4 squares on the feature panels. You're going to get 4 squares, and the 4 squares are in 2 different colorways, and the 2 colorways that we have are the lovely lilacs and pinks, and that one's down here. There's one there that's been turned into a penny. You're going to get 4 different ones, by the way. I don't actually have the full panel with me here of the 4 squares, but if you nip over to my website, which is Debbi Moore Designs, you'll be able to see it. So we have it in the pinks, and we have it in the lemons and the blues. There's one of the cute characters, and they're only $9.99. And the size for those, you are going to get, where am I? I've lost it on my little list there. So for the feature panels, they are 70 by 74. So, and then you'll be able to create 4 different ones, and you can put them to anything, and they're good features for quilts, aren't they?
Yes.
You've used a lot of them when doing up the quilts.
Yeah, they're brilliant because you can use them as the focus for your quilt, so you can have them as a square, and then you can put other squares or sashing around them, but they're a really great size. And the 4 that you get in one panel, they all work well together.
Definitely. And talking of squares, so I showed you earlier, the next one that we have is our 40 squares. Now this is being cut and being trimmed down to be 20. So it's showing you that you are getting all those 20 different designs twice. So that is the size of the panel itself that you can be able to do it. Now we have it in the blue and the lemon, but also somewhere on the floor here, there it is. We have the lilac and the pink, and this one's a full panel, so it's showing you how much you're going to get. There you go. Yeah. So it is huge, everybody, and look how adorable they are. And it's got touches of that lovely green in there. And they've been designed so you're going to get the 5-inch squares, and you're going to get 40 in total. And that panel is $14.99. So I just want to show you the different panels before we go to demo. And then the other one that I mentioned earlier was the picture squares. So if you just want the picture squares, and you were saying that you were using these on cornerstones for quilts, yes, weren't you? So these ones, as you can see, this has both colorways on it. And there are all these, so you get 40 squares, but you are getting all the different gnomes in the yellows and the pinks, in the actual purples, really beautiful. And yet again, that one is $14.99. Now, the last panel that we have available creates tote bags, and these are great. Now, I know Bella showed you how to do a bag earlier on the first demo using the 5-inch squares, but this is a whole panel, and this is the biggest panel because it's 140 by 57. Sorry, no, that wrong size. It's 140 by 94, and you can create the most luxurious bag, designer bag, or you can actually create 3 bags. And what I mean by that, so this is the bag that you can then end up make. And as you can see, it's 2 sides, but also it's reversible. We've designed the actual panel so you can turn it out and have this. I mean, look at the actual pocket. You love these,
gorgeous,
don't you?
Yeah.
So,
and you get a choice of 2 different pockets. So you can put one on the inside and one on the inside of the pocket. But I mean, I would use just plain fabric. Or you can use it as a spare to make an extra bag.
That's right. So what Nicola has done is she's made it stretched a bit longer. So what she's done is one side, she's made a bag like so, and she's used some 40 squares for the lining and the fascia that you can see there. But then what she did with the other side, she created So this was the lining, and she's made it as the back, so you can see like that. And then somewhere I did have the pockets, which I think it's gone somewhere. But on the inside, she's just used a normal, just any fabric that she had laying about. So it's to show you how that will stretch. But look how adorable. We're going to have a look at those. Look, that's the pin cushion Bella was showing you earlier that she's actually created. Oh no, Nicola made this one.
Yes.
And then you can, with the 40 squares, you can do with your needle, put your needles in, or whatever you want to do. You can do storybooks. So I'm going to hand over to Bella now, and she's going to show you one of my favorite faux quilting. Yes.
So this is a faux quilting, and it's a envelope back cushion. So what I need to do is just give you those.
Thank you.
So what I've done is I've taken 9 of the squares, and you can see the seam allowance on these picture squares. And what I've done is, because I want to do faux quilting, which is where I actually sew down this middle line in between the 2 squares, what I've done is around the outside edge of those 9 squares, I have cut an extra 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So what it means is I've actually cut into the square next to these squares. So you get your big panel and you actually just cut a small seam allowance into the next panel just around the edge. And what that means is that when you do your faux quilting, which is where you stitch in between these squares, it means that you're going to get a full square around the edge. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. And what I've done is I've actually cut the 9 squares with a small 1/4 of an inch seam allowance around the edge. I've then cut some wadding, and I've also got a plain fabric backing as well. And I've actually used spray glue to hold these together so that when I stitch them, the 3 layers don't move. Now, I know that you can put a walking foot on your sewing machine, but because this is live, I wanted to keep it simple. So I've kept my normal foot on, which you can do. These are very easy fabrics to sew. If it was a silk on the back, then maybe a walking foot would be much more of a necessity. But I've just kept a single, normal walking foot, and also I've kept it quite simple with the wadding as well. This is very thin wadding, it's not a very thick wadding, so again that means that I don't have to put the walking foot on. It's not quite so much of a necessity. So I've already sewn these verticals. I've sewn, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see where that's gone through there, and I've sewn that vertical now. So now I'm going to turn it the other way and sew these as well, and that will give a fake quilting effect. So rather than cutting all the pieces out, I'm just sewing along the edges of the squares.
It is. So when I was learning how to do different techniques, and they were telling me how this is how you start making a quilt, I was like, well, why do I have to cut it out? Why can I not just do it like this? So this is what I call faux quilting, and obviously, yes, you can cut out all the squares and then put them together to do whichever. You get different feels and different finishes, but this technique is really good. So if you want to make a quick project in the afternoon, you've got the actual squares already redone, there's no gap, so you can actually just sew like Bella's doing, horizontal then vertical, to start the cushion or the quilt, whatever you want to do. We were talking about creating lap quilts, weren't we, in the day?
Yes.
So I was over at Christmas, my very first Christmas or winter in France, and we've got one of these rooms, and Bella had actually made me a quilt, I call it my Christmas quilt, with some Christmas designs, which I'm sure you'll see later on in the year. But this is the technique that she used, and she was able to actually create it in a day, and that was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really nice technique. First of all, if you've never done any quilting and you want to just have a go with a very simple project, if you just want to get used to the feel of using the wadding and just sort of, get used to what you're doing without doing anything terribly complicated, this is quite a nice quick make for you, and it will just give you the confidence, particularly sewing in straight lines. If you can sew in a straight line, you can do this project.
What I liked about it is it helped me sew in a straight line because I had the lines.
You have the lines to guide you.
Yeah, I have the lines.
And actually, the envelope cushion is the very first project that you did.
It is, but this is the next stage in an envelope cushion because it's a quilted front.
It is a quilted front. So I've now got the quilted front with my wadding and the backing. And all I need to do now is I'm just going to cut. In fact, no, I won't. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut everything at the end. So I've got my piece. I'm going to lay it down front ways like this. And then I have right sides together. The piece that is going to be on the outside at the top is going to be this piece. Now I've already put a hem on here. So I've folded it over twice and just stitched along the edge. And I'm going to put that face down because it's the one that's going to be on the outside. I've put it nearest to the front image. So I'm going to put that face down like so. So you can see that there. I'll line these up when I pin it all together. And then this bottom piece, I'm going to put it face down, but I'm going to put it so that this seamed edge is over the top there. And I'm now going to pin these together. Sorry about the front view camera, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to line them up and pin them all together.
So Bella's going to do that while I'm going to be talking about the different fabrics that we have. So as I said to you earlier, we have got 6 different collections, or I should say panels in the sewing gnome. So Bella is using this one. And this is the one that she's cut up. This is 1/2 of it because you're going to get 40 squares in total. This one here is the 20, or all different designs. So you are only getting 2 of each one. So this is a great starting point. If you're going for the feature panel, because we have the feature panels that I showed you earlier, which I don't know what I've done with the square, but essentially, there it is. If you are wanting to create a centerpieces, you've got the feature panels where they are $9.99. You can nip over to debbimoredesigns.com into the fabric section, and they have them in the lemon and the blue, as well as that gorgeous pink and lilac. I love both of them, but I kind of get drawn to the pink and lilac colors. So that's what we have with regard to the 40 squares. Now, remember, we also have it. There is the... Obviously, it's the same colorway, but this one here that I'm showing you is just the picture squares. But this is a mixed colorway where it has the lilac and the pink, as well as the yellow, or should say the lemon, and that lovely pale blue. So these ones, these 40, these are called the picture collection. This is the picture panel. This is still 140 by 57, and it's $14.99. And this is just the images of those gorgeous gnomes. So you can do so much with it. You can use it as cornerstones on a quilt. You can use it for creating different little storybooks, the pin cushions, or even the dress that I have behind me. Jenny is part of our creative design team because, as you can imagine, there's so much going on at Debbi Moore Designs between paper crafting, the chateau, learning how to do wallpaper, never mind fabric. We have an amazing creative design team, and we have a fabric group as well who do the fabric ranges. And she's made this adorable dress using some other panels at the top, fabric at the top, but then at the bottom for the frill, she has used those gorgeous picture panels, really beautiful. So it's just to show you that you can actually use it in different ways. I'd love to make a dress, but maybe a bigger one than that one for me.
Oh no, I'd love to see you in a
I was going to say that one. That's not going to fit.
Yeah, that's really not going to fit.
No. I think I will. It is on my list for this year amongst 100. You know, we were talking about resolutions earlier. I haven't got resolutions. I've got goals, but my goals I have to do is not, you know, I have to learn how to wallpaper. I did that. So last year I discovered my husband.
I wanted to show you.
Oh, go on.
Just very quickly. So I've pinned all of this together. I've got my right sides together, and all I'm going to do is sew around the edge.
All right.
Okay.
Brilliant. So what I was going to say is last year, apparently I discovered that in the 26 years of marriage, I had never wallpapered before. So my husband decided to give me one of the rooms in the chateau to wallpaper. And when I say one of the rooms, it's bigger than my last house. And
it's big my whole house inside.
Yes, so it's called the Grand Salon. So if you want to check that out, you can go over to Create Now Dream Chateau and there is a YouTube video as a Facebook page that you can see how craziness we got up over there. But the point I'm making is it's all about new goals, new learning, and this is what we love about sewing. We get so excited because we think of everything that we can do as we learn how to create these different techniques. One of the biggest thing I am excited about is doing curtains. Who knew I'd be excited about creating my own curtain range? So that's what we're doing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, there's so much going on. It's always mad.
But the one thing I have learned on this journey in the fabric world is that everything is possible. And honestly, genuinely, it's been so amazing so far. And every time I complete something, I go, obviously I didn't do this, but pretend this is my cushion. I've got, look what I've done. And there's my husband who just rolls his eyes at me saying, oh my goodness, Debbie, where at least... when I show Bella, she just gets just as excited as I am. So I'm sure all of you know what I'm on about. When you are creating a new piece for the first time or having a go and you using a new fabric, this is what I get so excited about. Obviously, not only the paper crafting world, but now the fabric world.
Yes. And with learning about new things, you learn lots of tips and techniques, and you learn all the time. And I think that's one of those beautiful things, is that you learn all the time.
So one of the things that we did when we were learning, and this is one of the other panels that we have, is the reversible bag, is that we have given you, because we have so much design artwork just there, instead of duplicating for example, the actual pockets, if I go like this, you might be able to see that there's another beautiful design in there. So when you have a look, if you go over to Debbi Moore Designs.com in the fabric section, you will see that the fabric panel, which is the biggest panel we have, which is why it's $19.99, is every one of the areas. So you've got the front of the bag, you've got the back of the bag, you've even got the inside pockets. Every one of them is different. So that enables you to stretch that. So that one panel, you can actually create 3 to even 4 bags out of it by using any of your other crafty stash, any of your fabric stash that you have, and mixing it in, because it comes with instructions. All the instructions are on there. I noticed that one of our creative design team, but Lois, is on today's show, and she actually had a go for the first time, was it a few months ago, making a tote bag. And she said to me, Debbie, I bought a pink sewing machine. And I was like, really? You bought a pink sewing machine? I would like one. Yeah. But she is so excited about learning about the fabric world now. And she's now on our team and making cushions, doing bags and all kinds of things. So it just shows you not only are they great projects, but also they're great gifts to give for somebody you want to introduce to the world of sewing.
Yes, absolutely. So what we have now is and the brilliant thing about doing an envelope cushion is obviously no turning gap, nothing to forget, nothing to forget. You actually turn it right side out by using the pocket. But obviously what we need to do before that is just trim off the edges. So I will just quickly do that.
There you go.
And I will have to do it just here so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about the panels or anything that they might want to ask.
So if you do, just pop them in.
Quick look for you.
So I can see that there is some people that I recognise joining. We're trying to get everybody in the paper crafting world into the fabric world as well, because to me it's been such an enjoyment so far of learning how to create and learning to sew straight.
It's practice, isn't
it
it?
is practice, yes.
One thing I will say is, if you are moving across from the papercraft world to the sewing world, please, please, please do not be tempted by, like a like £50 machine. That is the quickest thing that will kill your sewing journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's better to get a second-hand, higher spec machine than it is to get one of the ones that are kind of under £100. They will just squash your soul.
Yes.
I was luckily, I should say,
nodding along as well.
Yeah, I got blessed, and I was given a really good machine that unfortunately I didn't have it out of the box for 4 years, did I?
No.
But luckily it is a good machine. But yes, one of my things in the chateau that we discovered, I'm not saying I'm using them, but one of the previous owners were actually into fabric, and there's about 6 sewing machines, the vintage ones, in the barn, and I must have about 8 of the old old tables
and everything.
It's all there. So I can't even. One of them we've learned that is older than 150 years old, and there's not. I'm not saying that I'm going to use them. What my point that I'm making is they last a long time.
Yes, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, but
they
they
are
are still absolutely usable. I mean, I've got my nan's old hand turn one, and
well, you'll need to come over and check them all
right
out.
up until she died.
Yes. Well,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with one of those. A lot of people prefer it because it's about confidence and control. So
yes,
my biggest thing I would say is, if you are going to buy a machine, if your budget is not huge, then look for a second-hand one that's a better model rather than spending say £100 or under on a sewing machine, because it will just give you problems.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my machine is quite old, but it was a good quality machine. Do you know what I mean? So yes, I wholeheartedly agree.
What is it?
with you
Which
there.
one? Yeah, yours.
It's an Elna, so it's it's quite good.
Well used now.
It's well used now for
More
sure.
than what it used to be.
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Okay.
Right, so I have got my envelope cushion, and all I'm going to do is turn it inside out. I'm going to hold the corner piece at a 45-degree angle and push it through. And that's going to make it a nice point in the corner. Do the same on the other side and push it through. And then
got some pins.
I've got some pins, but I can deal with that in a minute. That's not quite come through perfectly, but we'll get the idea. And then again, push this through the other side.
So this is using, is it 9 squares?
It's using 9 squares, so it's your perfect, squares rather than a rectangle. And because I've allowed for the seam allowance on the edge, we've got
a good balance.
And there is my quilted. Obviously, pressing would be important because that's very much part of the game. But there you've got the cushion, and if you turn it around, you'll see you've got the back. But that's a very straightforward way of doing a lovely quilted cushion. And it's just faux quilting, quick quilting, and you've got your envelope back at the back. It's a very simple, quick make that is just,
You could turn, I'm into obviously redoing rooms up, but you can change the look of a room by making loads of cushions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can coordinate in a room. You can pull colours in from different places just by doing cushions. And of course, an envelope cushion is a really good way of doing that because it's very simple, very straightforward, and easy to change the cushions in and out. So you're not messing around with anything too complicated. If you want something quick and easy, then an envelope back is a good way to go.
And that one that Bella has used was the 40 squares. 40 squares in the lemon and pale blue. This is the 20 designs that you see, but you get that twice. So that is $14.99.
And that's just lovely. I mean, that would be lovely for anybody's sewing room or, sitting
like gnomes.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, great versatility with those squares. And that's us, I think. Sara
is still with us, so you've managed not to wander off.
You're still there. I can't hear you though.
Come back.
Yes.
Have you lost your helpers? Because you had a different helper for a short period of time.
Yeah.
You've gone very quiet, Sarah, all of a sudden.
Oh, have I? Oh, very lovely. I don't know why.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Check it out. Oh.
No?
maybe it's just from mine then.
Oh, the parents have come back now, so I've handed them over. So I'm like, there you go, they're yours again now.
Always nice to be able to do that.
I think, I mean, I was supposed to do stuff as well, but there's not really been time today with the technical issues and what have you. That's fine.
awful.
It's all right. I mean, it's all right. I don't mind. Well, I can show you what was there, and you can have a quick look. Let me quickly switch across. So, we had just been talking about machines. This is exactly what we've got up. We've got 4 or 5 different models. They're all brothers. And as we said about kind of starting off with a half-decent machine, these are really the ones where you're going to move up to the next level. So we've got a couple of brand new in-box brother sketches, and they are brand spanking new machines. I think they only launched in October, November. You've got the Innovis 340 ED. They are dedicated embroidery machines, so if that's something you want to get into, then definitely have a look at those, because there are some that are just about half price. Well, that one is better than half price. Those ones all have the internet connectivity, and you can use the Brother design software with those. There is one left, which is, they're also Disney machines as well, so they come equipped with Disney designs preloaded that you can use on there as well. There is the 650D, which again is a Disney machine. This one is a quilting and embroidery machine, so you can take that carriage off that holds the embroidery hoop and just use it as an embroidery, just use it as a quilting and regular stitching machine if you wish. That one doesn't connect to the internet, but then the newer models, which are the 750Ds, they've got everything that the 650's got, but they also connect to the internet, which means you can download unlimited amounts of designs that you can stitch into anything you like. Nice big hoops on those. I think they're about a 12 or 14-inch hoop, well, height-wise, so you can get, decent big designs on with those. And then if you are super into your sewing, we've got a couple of VQ4s. All of these machines have come from Creative Craft. They are the ex-demonstration machines that you used to see all of us using all of the time. We bought them from the administrator. We got a really good deal on them, so we've passed that really good deal on to you. And some of them are over, the 2 VQ4s, over £1,000 cheaper than if you bought one brand new. Now, I did inquire about the warranties on these machines. We cannot transfer the warranty. We did try. It explains go and have a look at them. It does explain everything there. The warranty lies with Creative Craft. Unfortunately, they no longer exist, so we cannot transfer it across. I did contact Brother UK directly, and they've confirmed if you do want to obtain a warranty for it, you can take any of these machines to any Brother stockist who can service a machine, get them to service it, and put an aftermarket warranty on it if that's what you want. But these machines generally bulletproof, so you should be absolutely fine with any of these. I have personally opened every single box, gone through every single bit, made sure it's all there, and if it isn't there, I've written down what isn't there. Most of the bits I'm missing are just the nets that go over the spools of cotton. That's the only bits that are generally missing. But I've gone through all of these personally myself and made sure that everything is there. So if you head to the Craft Yourself City website and then Sewing Machine Sale, you'll find them all there. If you want to pay in a couple of installments, email us. We'll try and sort that out for you. That's not a problem. Or we can put you through PayPal, who can do a pay in 3. So let me just go and grab everybody else. We'll do it properly another day, but the stuff's there if you want to have a look at it.
Oh, if I was a minor host this year, sorry.
How's your first Secret Sewing Club been?
Well,
We're little technical issues, but we've loved it.
Technical issues, but apart from that, it's been fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be
Loved it.
better next time.
Yeah.
It's because we're all
Onwards and
learning.
upwards.
Yes.
Of course.
Every day is a school day.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
And Sarah, how's your 4th?
Oh yeah, is it 4? No, yeah, something like that. It's been a joy, as always, my lovely. Have a little chat, do a little bit of sewing.
And you've had extra visitors.
If anything by this year, that VQ4 would be mine. He would be coming to me. My husband might kill me if I spend part of the house deposit on a new machine.
Yeah, it is
Might be a
an
little issue.
absolute
Such
beauty.
a beautiful machine.
and
Yeah,
I will
it's
say though, it's quite weighty, so it's one that you need to have the space to kind of leave it out all the time. It's not one you're going to be picking up and putting away all the time.
no, they are heavy, but
it's
they
a
are a
beast.
dream to work with. Absolute dream to work with. They're gorgeous machines. Yeah. But no, it's been fun as
I
always.
shall let all you lovely ladies go. Let me just check who's on next week. We've got Quilting Antics, which is the lovely Anthea. We've got Old Maid New, which is Maria. She'll have more gold work and things like that. And Sasha Sews, who I believe has some new panels as well.
Oh, nice.
Well, that
Sounds
good. Good lineup.
We've got ladies commenting on the machines and said that the
Yeah.
was great. It definitely cost me a lot more. What a bargain!
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But we can only do that because of the way we got hold of them.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
we said last week, lemonade. You guys
Yeah.
are getting some.
You're gonna do it, haven't you?
bargains. So
Definitely.
thank you
Yeah.
everybody, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Bella, without Debbie,
Yes.
is potentially.
Yes.
She
back
is.
on the 26th
With a
of
top camera,
January.
she's fixing it.
Yes. Yes. I will be doing that.
It's just
Yes.
it's just teething troubles. It's fine,
Yes.
but
Yes.
definitely worth just stopping, swapping, and
Yeah.
because I mean we did get a lot of
Definitely.
lovely comments saying, "Oh, it's much better now. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
And we're just
Brilliant.
getting lots now
Brilliant.
saying thank you very much. We've had a fab afternoon.
Thank
Brilliant.
you. We've
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. Thank
We've loved
you.
it.
Yes.
Your 2 weeks time.
2 weeks time, yeah. We're at the can I just remind everybody that next Sunday, obviously you've got Secret Sewing Club between 2 and 5, but myself and Sarah Jane will be live from 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the evening. We're doing a 12-hour charity sew along. Anybody can pop in and share a live, come and say hello to us. We are doing it for Freedom for Girls charity, so I will put a link up on our socials again. But you could
Put a
watch
link up on the
let you
secret sewing
disappear
as well.
between 5 to come and watch you guys. But anyone else, we're there from 10 till 10 all day next Sunday. So come and support us if you can, because it's a long old day. We're going to need matchsticks by the end of it.
Fantastic.
But yeah, and I will see you guys here in
All
2
right,
weeks'
guys.
time. Newark show.